I'm terrible at that. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to call in tonight. I'm super excited to have Holly as our guest speaker tonight. She hit diamond last week, and I couldn't be more proud of her. This is a goal that she set for herself really early on in coaching. She's been working so incredibly hard, and she really refuses to make excuses for herself, and I can't wait to hear from her about her story and her why, and I know it's going to be really inspiring for you guys, and she's going to provide a lot of great tips on how she got to where she is today. So congrats, Holly. I'm super excited about this. Did anyone else want to recognize anyone over the past week for something that they've accomplished before we get started?
Lisa hit Success Club today.
Yeah, like Lisa, you boomed like 4 times in the last day. Like I was just like, this girl's on fire. Congrats.
Yeah, and Sam hit Success Club this week too. So, woohoo.
Awesome. Very cool. And I want to recognize Kim, who's on the call. She literally just signed up with me maybe 10 minutes ago, and she's like automatically wanting to jump in and is on the call. So I'm really excited. And I want to thank Holly and Lindsay for talking with her today. She's super excited to be a part of the team, and I'm really excited to have her. So please welcome her, and she's now part of our family. So.
Hi, Kim. Nice chatting with you today.
Welcome. I'm so excited you came with us. She was so sweet. And she's from Salem.
Yeah, she's super sweet. So let's get started.
Okay, I'm Holly. For those of you who didn't know. Talking about myself can tend to be a little hard, but I found that through my journey, it has gotten easier because I like sharing now, which is really fun. So I started my journey back in June technically, but probably about 3 months before that is when it really started, because I really feel that someone's journey starts when they even start thinking about doing it. And I watched an infomercial on the television, and my husband was like, hey, that's up your alley. And I was like, oh yeah, there's this girl on my Facebook that does it, and so I wrote Heather, and so I was a big no person at first. I didn't want to try Shakeology. I did not want to coach. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to. I knew I was in a bad place. I knew that it was getting worse. And I mean, in those 3 months, it got even worse. Probably the worst I've ever been. I mean, I definitely was heavier than I've ever been, and I was more depressed than I've ever been. It was just in a really bad situation. So I had a lot of whys. And I think you'll hear in my story that I had a really hard time figuring out exactly what my why was, because I had so many of them. And I thought I had to narrow it down, but really you don't. You can just have this big why, which is what mine is. So I guess I'll tell you what my overall why is, which I just figured it out on, was it Lindsay? No, on the call we recently had with Amanda. And I was like, I wrote Heather after, and I'm like, I know my why. So I was really excited about that. So my why is that I don't want anything to hold me back anymore. I've spent so much time in my life being held back by things. So mostly physically, emotionally, financially. I always had these reasons why I didn't do things, and I would skip out on things. I didn't want to go to a party because I had nothing to wear. We couldn't afford to do something, so we wouldn't do it. There was just so many things holding me back, and I'm so tired of modeling my life and doing things in my life around not being able to do them because of reasons that are holding me back that aren't real reasons. They're what I found are excuses. So that's my why in a very broad term. I've written it out. I've talked about it to myself. I like to talk to myself a lot when I'm not talking to Heather or my husband. I find without my husband here, and for those of you who don't know, my husband, who is on the line, is in Mississippi right now. He has been gone for 5 weeks, and he will be back in 7. So single parenting with Jacob right now, which is something that if I had started doing this before I started my journey would have been just disastrous. I would be a mess right now. So, and so the start of it was when Heather finally got me to start my 21-day fix. And then I got to the end of the month and I saw the 21-day fix was still going to be on sale. And she had talked to me about continuing my Shakeology, which I really, really liked. So I have to thank her for getting me started on Shakeology. Because I was so scared of starting it for some reason. And she mentioned the coaching discount, and I was like, all right, I'll take the discount, but I'm not coaching. I didn't believe that anyone would follow me. And I even went around telling people, well, I'm becoming a discount coach, but that doesn't mean I'm coaching. Like, coaching is for thin people and people that work out, and I can't do that. And then people, like, without even coaching, I was sharing my story online, and people started like asking me questions. And then I realized that these people needed someone to talk to that understood what they were talking about. And so, I don't know, all of a sudden I was coaching. And then as soon as I was a coach, I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it like all in. So then I was like, well, I'm going to be a diamond. So I was an emerald pretty quickly. And then a lot of things got in my way to being a diamond. And I think it was that I couldn't figure out what my why was. And Heather will tell you that a lot of my stuff I was basing on was her. I was so used to in my life pleasing people and doing things for other people that I didn't realize that even though I had made this really big transition in my life, that I was still doing that. And I think it was more of a comfort thing. I was like, well, I'll make Success Club this month because that will make Heather happy, And so I found myself in a bit of a mess because I was like, why can't I make diamond? I'm not doing this right. And really I was doing it for the wrong reasons. But underneath, I was doing it for myself. So I just kind of had to dig deep and really figure out how I could do it the way that would make me happy. Because if I think I had gotten to diamond at that point, it wouldn't have been good. So, and Chris and I are Christians, and I really think God had a plan for me, like, to hit it when I hit it. Because when I hit it, I think I jumped like 3 feet in the air. I was so excited. My challenger left my house because he was over my house and he had signed up, and I knew I had hit diamond at that moment. And I like jumped in the air. I got on the computer and I called Heather, or wrote her. And I was just so excited to hit it. And it was just a really cool experience. And I knew I had done it for myself. And so I had this mirror down the hall, and it said on it, diamond, achieve it. And so then I got to run over and erase the part that said achieve it and say, keep it, because now I have to keep it. And that's the thing too. You have to remember, when you get to diamond, you can't just be like, woo, my diamond stopped working. So I've been doing that. I've been doing everything I can to keep my status and then push further than that and bring on more working coaches and have a real team of my own and feel like this is something that is always going to be in my life. And that has been really important to me. And I was able to share, it's funny, the two people I really wanted to share my success with are Heather and my husband, Chris, and they were both away. So I was like alone at home. I'm like typing Lindsay and I'm typing all these other people because I was like, I have no one to talk to right now. Jacob wasn't even home. So, so my journey to diamond had a lot of bumps, but a lot of it stemmed from how I got started in Beachbody in the first place, which was, I thought that my problem was that I was really heavy. And it was. I mean, that is a problem. But I think what the problem was is that was a result of what the problems were underneath. And underneath, I had a lot of insecurities. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was only doing things for other people. And then I got so caught up with being depressed about all that I wasn't even able to do those things. Like, I wasn't being a great mom. I wasn't being a great wife. And I wanted to be able to do those things better, but I felt like I couldn't. And I was really getting in my own way. Many of you know that my son was diagnosed with autism at 18 months. And I think for me, without blaming him, of course, because that's not his fault, but that's where I dropped the ball. And that's where I was like, I just dropped everything. And I tried to just take care of him and help him build his future. But then forgetting at the same time that as his mom, I needed to be strong. And I was getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and that wasn't helping him. So luckily, there was that visual cue I had where I knew, like, I was really heavy, and so there was a problem. And then once those layers started to fall off, I was able to really dig into everything else that was wrong not wrong, but everything else that was bothering me. And now I feel like this super strong person. I mean, of course I have my moments. Everybody does. But I feel like I'm such a different person. And I had in my head that I wanted to get back to like who I was when I got married, but I'm not even that anymore. And I wouldn't want to be, because I'm a mom now and I'm a wife now and I'm a different person. And I've grown in so many ways. And I'm so much more capable than I was then. So that's a little about me. Oops. I haven't even been reading all these. Oh, goodness. Gina couldn't hear us. Lindsay's on. Oh, these are way before. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading these. Oh, thank you, Heather. Amen. It's so funny on this end when you can't hear anyone and you're like, everybody's looking at you. So I wrote down a few things that are my favorite things about coaching that I wanted to share with you after I told you that whole thing about myself. Because I did write down notes because I tend to go off for a long time about nothing. So my favorite thing is absolutely helping people. Seeing people and seeing their situations and being able to, everyone, you know, even if I don't end up coaching them, I say to them, listen, you know, this opportunity may not be what you wanted, but you need to find time for yourself. 30 minutes of whatever you need to be doing for yourself is really important, because I didn't have that me time, which is funny because I had a lot of time to have that me time. Now that I'm doing it, I mean, I didn't think I had any time. And now I have time not only to get those workouts in, but this week I've been getting 2 in, and I'm a coach. So I don't know what I was doing with my time, but but I had a lot more time than I thought I did. And I tell that to people because everybody's like, oh, I don't have any time. I'm like, yeah, me either. But there it is. I'm taking on your habits. I like that it keeps me accountable to my goals. And I said that to my husband when we started coaching. I said to him, what can go wrong? I mean, I'm going to drink the Shakeology. I'm going to do the program. And the coaching is going to help me pay for all that. He said, so really, I have nothing to lose because this is going to keep me accountable. And that's like so important to me, you know? And I didn't feel like going in that I was taking like any big risks. I was helping people and I was helping myself. And I really don't see how anything could be better than that, you know? I meet new people, which as a stay-at-home mom, I don't really meet that many new people. So I'm kind of like with those friends that I've always had, the ones that may or may not have been building me up. And now I know, you know, Lindsay and Heather and all of you guys, and you build me up every day. And I haven't missed a call ever on here, I don't think, because every Monday I'm like, you know, I get to see them. And then I join in on Lindsay's calls and I get to see them again. And it's just really, really fun to see everyone all the time. And I find new things out about myself and things I have in common with others. You know, I'm learning new things about myself all the time as a coach. And I feel like I'm a part of something, which for those of you who are parents, you might understand this. And those of you who aren't might even either. But feeling like you're a part of something is really, really important. And sometimes as a parent, or even if you're just focused on one thing, you can feel like you're not really a part of something else. Like, I'm a mom, so I can't be a part of anything else in this world. And you can. And that's what coaching has been for me. Like, I feel like we are a team. You know, I feel like I'm part of you guys' lives every day and what you're doing, even though I'm not right there with you doing it. And then coming together every Monday is really cool. Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, my dream board. Oh my goodness. So exciting. So when I turned out, I was really bad about keeping a dream board. Really bad. Heather kept telling me to make one and I didn't. And I'm going to share this in the group later, but I can tell you some of the things that are on there. So ever since I became a diamond, I started keeping a dream board, like my post-diamond dream board, because for me, it was really important that even though I was diamond, that I made new goals, because being diamond was such a big goal for me for so long. And so now I'm like, I need other goals and I need to keep diamond. So I have a 1-star diamond coach on there right now. So I have a little 1-star diamond in the corner. I have the word dream in the middle because I want myself to know that it's always okay to dream big. Strength is one, to keep getting stronger. I have to be inspired is great, to inspire is incredible, because I always want to keep inspiring people. Be stronger than your excuses, because we all have excuses every day. Team I am, because that's my team name, and I want to keep building it. I have better mom on there. Keep calm and be a good wife. So I want to be a better wife every day. I have these birds flying out of a cage to symbolize freedom. And then there's a sign that says this way to financial freedom, because that would be fantastic. I have a little yellow polka dot bikini picture on there, which I think my husband will appreciate. And I put that on there when I added the Walt Disney World's 2016, because my husband apparently had a lot of time this weekend, and he called me up and he said, I need to talk to you about something, because I was supposed to go visit him when he was in Mississippi, but it just didn't work out for so many reasons. Hi. And Jacob's jumping on the couch. And so he said, it'd be the same price if we go on a trip. So let's go on a trip. And so he was like, I have, idea for a trip. I need you to be open-minded. And I think it's really important that he said that, because I was very, very close-minded before I started this experience. I would always be like, no, we can't do that. We can't do this. We can't do that. I mean, I can tell you exactly why I wouldn't want to go to Disney, because I wouldn't have anything to wear. We didn't have enough money, and I would not want to risk Jacob flying. So now we're really only left with Jacob flying, and I see it as a much smaller problem now than I used to see, because I'm able to look at things like that. But we definitely have more of an income, and immediately I said to him, well, I'll just start, planning how I'm going to run my Beachbody business to make sure that we hit all our goals. I'll list out everything. I'll list out the prices, and then we'll just make that in the business, and it'll be like, just an added bonus. So I think I probably shocked him a little when I was so open to it. So tonight after the call, we're going to get on the phone. We're going to discuss where we want to go, flights and places to stay and things we want to do. And then I was like, Jackie lives in Florida, so I can see Jackie. So it's just really, really exciting. And I love how excited I am about it, because old me, like literally 4 months ago, I would have been like, no, we're not going to Florida. So I'm really excited. So Disney is on my dream board as of today. That is my dream board. And I think that's kind of the open conversation for me, because I could go on forever. Let me see if there's any new chats. Yes, I think real goals are really important. Having a dream board is super important. And I didn't know that, even though you kept telling me. I really need to start listening to Heather more often.
Oh, stop. You're amazing. And I'm really so incredibly happy for you, Holly. If you could, I'd love for you to talk a little about what you feel like you did in order to get to Diamond. I know you're really humble and it's hard to talk about it, but I think it'll be so powerful for people that are pushing towards that goal. For instance, for you, you went above and beyond and you started to do things that truly inspired me as your coach, creating these folders for people. And I just feel like you went above and beyond to help people. And that's something to be super proud about. And as a coach, I know that sometimes you don't even think that it's a big deal because it's just something natural that you're doing. But I would love for you to kind of share those things if you don't mind, because I really think, especially Lisa, who's on the call, I know, and Gina, I know they're pushing really hard to achieve Diamond, and these little things may be huge for them and life changing.
Okay. All right. So some things that I did. Well, you mentioned the folders. So I do this thing with my coaches. And these are all mine are discount coaches. They're really not working coaches. But they stay on, and that is very important. Keeping them on is very important. So I make sure that I'm constantly touching base with them and making them feel really, really special. So I run a photography business, for those of you who don't know, and I had all these folders for my photography business. And I had bought the wrong size or something. So they were just sitting there unused. So I was like, what can I do with these? So I put in information about their program. I make them little sheets that help them track their goals. Sometimes, becoming more often, I put in a sample of Shakeology for them. I put in a special note to tell them how excited that I am that they've come to the team. And I just give them as much information as possible. I also give them information about disc coaching in there, writing it out, because sometimes if, reading it will be really helpful. And it takes a lot of the work out for me as far as like talking to them about it. Because, even though I do really, really well with it, it's always like nerve-wracking for me to be like, oh, do you want to be a discount coach? And people they do, because they want, just like me, they want the discount. And I talk about my experience with coaching. Something new that I'm starting that I'm really excited about is I'm going to do these cards that I'm going to put in there where it's almost like a referral card, and they can earn different things based on how many people they refer to be on my team. So, it's like Shakeology, or actually today I was thinking of doing like Holly Bucks, and they can earn dollars to spend towards things too. So that's an idea that's like in the works. I haven't even started doing it yet, but I'm excited about that. I'm always trying to just think about things that will make them special and feel included. When I know their Shakeology is coming up, I talk to them about if they want to change flavors, or kind of like just really talking about going forward and how happy they are with it. And I'm always asking people about recipes and just different things to just kind of include them and keep them going, because you have people that will buy the program and then not do it. And for me, it's very, very important that they do it, because that's my whole point, is to help them. I actually really, really hate it when someone gets the program and doesn't do it, because then I feel like I've failed as a coach. So then I just contact them again, and I'm like, hey, what can we do to make this easier for you? So always just keeping in touch with them. I actually created a chart with myself, so I'm making sure that I'm keeping in touch with my actual challengers at least every other day, if not every day, because I think a lot of people forget how important the challengers are that you already have. So you're always trying to get to Success Club, right? But you have these challengers which are going to get you to Diamond. These discount coaches, if they drop off, then that's another discount coach. Yes, another discount coach that you need. So it's all building blocks. And for me, I think part of my success has been keeping them on so long. I have, knock on wood, not had a discount coach fall off yet. I have one that is moving her shake up this month, but since I have 5 on each leg, I'll be fine. So just always keeping track of your discount coaches, keeping them happy, keeping your challengers happy is really, really important. And sometimes, and I think during the middle of the month where I struggle, that might be part of why I'm not bringing on new people, but I'm making very sure that those people that I already have with me are very, very happy, and they really like the program. And it helps that I really, really like the program, and, being product of the product. It keeps me going. They see me continuously losing weight and continuously following the plan and pushing, and I put videos up all the time, and I don't just do it online. I'll do different separate videos for my challengers, and I'll talk about them personally, and I'll say, hey, I know you've got this going on today, but make sure you get your workout in. And then you're calling them out, and they, they'll write me, thank you so much. So just being really personal. I'm so bad at following the chat.
That's okay. We're just talking.
And so that's really important, really keeping your challengers happy. And then, so I try to do like different promotions, like some have been successful, some haven't. Like I've constantly tried to offer free photography services for people for their before and after pictures, and nobody wants to do it. So then I started just after pictures and not the before. And we're seeing how that goes. So just trying to think outside the box is what I would do, because there are a lot of Beachbody coaches out there, and your challengers are going to connect with you for certain reasons, but also really putting yourself out there and really showing how much you care about what you're doing is going to really, really help. And that's what I do. I post a lot on my page. I post a lot I post more now on my regular page than I do on my likes page. And I was thinking about that today. I was like, oh, I got to step it up on my likes page because I've been concentrating so much on my regular page. Just constantly being aware of what you're doing is really helpful. I think sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing that's special because Heather probably is thinking of things that I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, Holly, I mean, that's great. And I think the folders thing for me was definitely like so out of the box and like, but so simple at the same time. Like, I know like some coaches may be feeling like, well, that's a lot of work and like that could be overwhelming, but like it's something like that, guys. Like it's a system like that that you put in place and like you can duplicate that makes this business so successful. And if you got a system and you understand, okay, what am I going to be putting in every folder and you plan, it should be something that just happens naturally. When someone comes on, I create a folder. It's kind of like I create a folder on my computer for my coaches in order to be organized, in order to help coach them. It's a similar tactic, but literally it goes so far. Like Holly's saying, I mean, bringing people on board is huge. Keeping them is a whole nother story. Like that's so, so important in this business. And I know Lindsay and I have been working on this Shakeology group in order to, help the entire team in order to do this. But that's, again, just another way of doing it, but it's not enough. Like you have to, as a coach, go above and beyond and have those personal conversations with people, reaching out to them, understanding how the Shakeology is working for them. This whole business runs around Shakeology. So it's like continuing to have that conversation and make sure they're enjoying it. To understand where they are. If they didn't sign up as a discount coach right away, then why aren't they getting that discount if they're loving Shakeology? Like these are all those conversations to be happening. And I know another thing Holly is really great at, which I'm going to pick at her to talk about too, is she's amazing at talking to as many people as possible and forming. Like this girl, I mean, it really comes with her truly caring about others and wanting to help others. And this stems from how she got started with her journey. And, I am a part of that, not to talk about myself, but like I believed in Holly before she believed in herself a bit. And that was something that I think was super powerful for Holly. And she pays it forward by having that same like energy and passion to help others. And she remembers from where she started. And I think that like goes a long way with how she treats others, and that she sees something in them and she really truly goes above and beyond to form with them, to understand where they are, to help them. So Holly, if you can speak to that a little bit and, what you do, like your mindset in talking with people and like not settling on 3 people and, thinking that that's it. Like you're talking to as many people as possible to reach your goal. Like this month alone, how many people have you already signed up? Like, I don't know, 7?
Seven. And I have a goal of 10. I will get 10 people. I will help 10 people. That was my goal I set for myself, was helping. And it had nothing to do with Success Club. I was literally like, why can't I, you have to have big goals for yourself. Like, why can't I help 10 people? No, they might not all sign up, but even, those 7 people I've actually helped through Beachbody. But for me, I would even count like if I've made a change with someone in their life health-wise. And that's what you have to think too. Like, I'm with my forming, even if someone tells me, I can't do Beachbody, I'm like, that's okay. Let's keep talking, because I know that you have a goal for yourself. And yeah, you can't afford Beachbody, and that's fine. I couldn't afford it when I started either. And I don't even care if you ever start, but I want to help you make this change in your life. So we talk about things, and I'm very careful not to give out, any like, I don't tell people how to do the 21-day fix. I'm not like, okay, well, get yourself little containers. I don't do that, but I start with like, the 30 minutes a day. Make sure you get those 30 minutes a day. And, and I'll write these people, what did you do for 30 minutes a day that was for yourself? And I just keep people accountable. And some of those people end up signing up with me, and some of them I just still talk about, because my main goal here has always been to change people's lives and to bring people like the peace that I have found in this business. And Heather, I mean, I go on and on about Heather. Heather literally has, and I give her, she's so, what is that word? She doesn't like credit at all, but like she literally took me and she changed my life. And I try to think about every person I talk to about how can I change their life. Even if I can't get them into a Beachbody program, I have this girl right now who she's doing Weight Watchers. I talk to her all the time. Her weight loss journey is amazing, but she like fell down a flight of stairs and like broke her leg, you know? And so now she can't do anything except for upper body. So I wrote her today. I was like, hey, can I make you a video of me doing upper body stuff in a chair and you can follow that? You know, like just talking to people and changing their lives. And that girl might sign up with me someday. She might not, but it's not going to cost me anything except for some time to talk to her. So really just being 100% in and really talking to people and changing lives will help you, will help your business, and will help them. And helping people is what our business is. And that for me has really helped with because in the beginning, people would be like, we're not selling anything. And I'd be like, but really a sale is being made, you know? So I look at the sale as something that I have to get through, a hurdle that I have to get over to help these people, you know, to literally give them everything I have. The best possible way to help them for me is to get them that challenge back, because that's what helped me. And I can do all these little things and help them, but trying to get them to see how important this is really important to me, because you know, I'll tell them different things, and we always end back to, you know, they'll be like, but you had such success. I'm like, yes, because I did the 21-day fix, you know? And I'm like, and if you're ever ready to do that, we'll do it, you know? So I just constantly keep talking to people. Another thing is I try to form with we hit Success Club every month. They are giving you a free person to talk to every week. And they don't want to talk to you usually. But I found that if I write them and I say, hey, I send out a packet to all my new challengers as a welcome, and I'm going to send you a free sample of Shakeology. Will you give me your address? Even though I already have it. They don't know that. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, hi, Holly. It's so nice to meet you as my coach. So just knowing what people want. Like, I like free stuff. And I just assume that everybody else does too. I picked up a shower cap for Heather yesterday at the hotel, because Heather's all like, oh, I don't like free stuff. But I found out she likes shower caps. So, yeah, she's a freak. So, but, yeah, you know, like knowing what people like, finding what people like, learning about them, talking to them about what they like is really, really important. And that has really, really helped me. I love to talk. And I think that helps a lot too. Like I stay up, and you do have to be careful, like forming at night. I can't tell you. So I will tell you this though. So my first challenger, right, that I signed up, I was so excited. And I wanted to write Heather, and I was like, I got one. I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah. Send. And I don't remember exactly what I sent, but it was not something you would want to send to a challenger. And I totally sent it to the challenger that I had just signed up. And then I sent it to Heather after, but I didn't sleep at all that night, because I thought, oh my goodness, that sounded so salesy and so not like me, but I was just so excited to sign someone up. So then I wrote her, and I'm like, hey, that wasn't supposed to go to you, but I'm just really, really excited to have you on my team. And I like cried about it to my husband. And I thought, that's it. That's the end. I'm not going to be able to coach. I'm just going to have to bury myself in the ground. And here I am, you know, 3.5 months later, and I'm a diamond coach. So it wasn't the end, and I got through it. So you will do things, but you should not write people at night, because Facebook is very tricky and you cannot unsend messages. So I also have this bad habit on my phone. Someone will write me a text, and I'll go to text them back, and I'll write it into the first box I see. And I think I've gotten Heather like 3 times, and I've like written something to someone I'm supposed to be texting, and it goes to Heather. And I'm like, that was not for you. That was not even for Facebook, you know? So be very careful. Don't blindly text people. So I've done a lot of stupid things, but I'm still a diamond coach. So that's good. And I was talking about this today with someone who had said, you know, that sounds really hard. That sounds really crazy. And it does. Like when I first started, I did not even imagine myself being a diamond coach. And now I'm like, I'm going to be up there with Heather and I'm going to be a 5-star diamond, you know, and it's like really exciting. And by then she's going to be like a 10-star diamond. Like you have to have dreams for yourself and you have to think that it's possible. And getting over that hurdle for myself, 15, I don't even know how many stars you can get. She's going to be a 10,000 diamond star. I was on the team with, on the call with, I'm going to forget her name. She's like all of our coaches. Heather, what's your coach's name?
Elizabeth.
I was on the call with her the other day, and she was talking about how she's kind of lost track of things. Like, this is a big time coach thing. She's lost track of things. And she said, I just realized I've been a 10-star diamond coach for a whole year. And she's like, what am I doing wrong? You know? So you always have to be, and that hit me because I was like, I'm going to always be really conscious of what I'm doing and where I'm at and where I can be improving. And I try to do that now. I try not to just settle for whatever I'm doing because there are some very busy weeks. I mean, Jacob's being really good right now, but usually he's climbing all over my head. And yeah, she took time off. She wasn't kissing. Okay. Yeah, you know, but
but let me just comment on that since I wrote that. Like, that was a dream of hers, though. Like, Liz, literally, family is everything to her. And, like, this was something, like, she created in order to have that freedom for her family. But for me, and Holly and Lindsay probably know best than anyone, is like, yeah, I'm a crazy person, and I'm super consistent with this business, and I make no excuses for myself. And for me, that's my dream, is to be a millionaire before I have children. But I never see, like Matt and I have talked about this, I never see this being something that I just think, okay, well, I'm a millionaire. It's to the point that, like, I don't really need to put that time in anymore. Like, I never see it being that. Like, we actually talk about how, you know, I'll still be really busy at that time in my business. It will just be different. Like, it will be, again, like supporting all of you, which is something that is so important to me and something I'm so passionate about, is being a leader and, like, being that person for all of you. And it might not be really like bringing in new business, but continuing to support your team. Like, growing is just something that happens naturally. And I really want people to understand that. And I think that's kind of goes along with what Holly's saying tonight, guys. Like, when you truly care about people, and if you just keep forming with people and do whatever you can to, like, try to help them, even if you don't see, like, the best thing you can do is, even if you don't see an initial sale in the future and, like, these people aren't like, hey, I'm gonna buy, don't forget about them. Don't treat them any different than someone else, guys, because these are the people that really need your help. Like, that's so powerful. Like, Holly was one of those people, guys. Like, Holly she was, like, so, like, adamant about not getting started and, like, didn't feel like she could do it.
Worst customer ever.
No, you weren't. You weren't, because, like, I was so, like,
yeah.
like, you were so important to me. Like, there was something about Holly that spoke to me, and I wanted to help her. Like, she really meant so much to me. And Kim, guys, she's new on the call. She, like I told you, she just signed up today. She's one of those coaches kind of too. Like, I was talking with her. I was inspired by her. I really naturally, like, you know, really genuinely wanted to help her. I sent her a book and Shakeology samples, and here she is today signing up. And I didn't do it because I thought she'd sign up. I did it because I really thought a personal development book and a few shakes was going to make a difference in her life. Like, I thought, like, you know what? I need to give her a shot. Like, I need to show her, like, this is possible. And whatever came from it I was okay with. Like, it didn't matter. It wasn't about a sale. It was about truly caring about someone and wanting to make a difference in their life, whatever that meant. Like Holly's saying, like, someone who is injured from, you know, the stomach down and they're not going to commit to buying a program right now because they can't completely use it. And you shouldn't expect them to as a coach because it's just unrealistic. I mean, yeah, maybe they could start on the Shakeology, but still continuing to care about that person and build their trust, guys, is huge. Like, I can't even tell you. And not only is it huge from a standpoint that, like, you're building that trust with someone, it's going to empower you as a person. It's going to make you a better coach. It's going to make you a better person. Just give you, like, this feeling inside that you don't get from anything else. And that's one of the reasons I love coaching so much, because it's a personal fulfillment that it gives me. I've always wanted to be able to give this gift to people. Like, the joy I've watched Holly, like, her transformation over the past few months, from her weight transformation to her life transformation. Like, I'm so excited, guys, for her journey and what is to come. Like, like, I can't cry right now because like I'm just like crazy right now. But really, like, she literally brings me to tears many times when we talk because I'm just so inspired by her. And it's funny how that happens through this business. It's like I'm her coach and like I'm supposed to be inspiring her to like, you know, what the norm is and what people say, but like she inspires me daily. Like you guys all inspire me daily. And that's something to remember and not forget, and to understand that this whole thing works in a circle, and that each and one of us is important, and we're a team, and we're all here to support each other, and, you know, treat others, even though if they're not part of the team yet, that they already are. Because, you know, this is the world, and like we're all part of something. So
yeah. And I was telling Kim today that I really have modeled my business after Heather's, because Heather didn't give up on me. I mean, she totally should have. Like, you know, she shouldn't have. But you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I was just not helping myself, you know, and she could have just been like, oh, well, I'm not going to make a sale on you. I mean, I don't really know you, so I'm just going to give up on you. And she kept checking in on me, and she kept talking to me, and she kept, like, you know, offering me self-help. And like, I was just like, all right, well, okay. Like, I guess I'll try this. And I had literally hit the day that I decided that I was going to commit to this program and do it. I was like at rock bottom. Like, I've told my story. Last year I bought five fleece zip up sweatshirts, and I cycled them through every week. That is all I had to wear. And by the end of the winter, those were tight too. And then all of a sudden it was like 80 degrees and I'm in jeans and these tight, you know, sweatshirts. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I can't wear anything. Like, I'm just never going to leave the house again, or I'm going to do the 21-day fix and start changing my life. And in the first week, I think I lost 8 pounds because I really just went after it. And at that time, I went after it because I was like, Heather believed me, and I'm going to show her that her belief was worth it, you know? And so your challengers might feel that way. They might at first be like, I'm going to do this for you, because they don't know how to do things for themselves. And that's what you have to teach them. And she didn't just let me do it for her, you know? She literally was like, you can't do this for me. You have to do this for yourself. And she could have just been like, oh yeah, do it for me, I'm so great. But she was, you know, like, for me, that's so important that she was like, no, I need you to do this for yourself. I think you're doing awesome, but you need to. And I took a few days where I was like, I just need to take a few days and really think about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And she was like, yes, that is what you need to do. And she just was so supportive of me so many ways. And so that is what I put into my business too, because I think that it's so important. I mean, I think it helps a lot. Like, I wish you guys could like get in my head right now, because it helps a lot to know how bad I was and how badly I needed help. And I didn't want help from anyone. I just wanted to be the way I was. And I just had wished that it was the way I was, a little thinner, you know? Like, for me, I was hiding it for so long. I think I wanted people to think that I was a really strong autism mom. Like, I wanted people, because I'm very adamant about the fact that there is nothing wrong with Jacob being autistic, and there is nothing to be sad about that, you know? Yeah, it makes our lives a little harder, but he is the way he is, and we love him so much. And I always wanted people to see me as this strong mom who could handle anything and who had this really great life, even though these circumstances were in our lives. And the physical part of it is what was giving me away all of a sudden. I was like, I can't go anywhere because people will see me. Because on my Facebook, if you look back, it doesn't really look like I lost that much weight, because I never shared any pictures of me heavier. I mean, it was really hard to find the before and after, which is why I'm so glad I snapped that before picture before I started, because that's kind of all I have is before, because I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want people to see, because I knew if they saw the physical outsideness that they were going to know there was something wrong in there too. And I just kind of look at every person I talk to like they are in the same situation I was. And I know how badly I did not want to seek out help. And I knew what Heather did that worked for me. And I kind of go through and I do the same thing, and I just give them as much support as I can. And I think it's really important. And that's why I love what I do. Like, I'm able to give that back to someone. It's like a gift that I'm able to give them. yes, it costs them some money, but it's totally worth it, and then if they start coaching, they get that money back, like one of my discount coaches, I had to put people under her to make her an emerald so that I could be a diamond. But for me, that was like a gift to her. She had a hard time going for the shakes. And I was like, look, you have that back now. And, I got something from it too. I'm able to be a diamond. And now I think that she might actually be a coach because she's now seeing like what coaching can do for her. And it's really neat. So like you just, I don't know, give without expectation is what I do. I never put something out there or talk to someone out there and think I'm only saying this because I want them to sign up. I never do that. And I've never crossed that line. And I think for me, staying strong like that has been really, really, really empowering, and knowing that with every person I talk to that I'm actually helping them. And that's that. I could go on about that forever because I think that's so important. Like you're helping people. And that was what helped me get over that sales hurdle.
I love you, Holly. Does anyone have questions for Holly? Because we're coming up on an hour and 10, like in 10 minutes, it'll be an hour. So I don't want to keep people much longer. I know Holly and I both could talk for hours. It's so funny. Like when Holly's like, hey, do you want to have a call? And like, most people coach calls are maybe like, I don't know, 10, half an hour. Like I like literally plan an hour out because like I know we're just going to talk forever.
I wish my husband wasn't muted right now because my husband calls me out on all the time. He'll be like, so you start saying goodbye and then you really start your conversation. He's like, and then I just keep trying to say goodbye because you have already initiated the goodbye. Oh, I feel so bad for him, but I do it all the time. Yeah, I'm a talker. That's why I made notes for myself. But as soon as those notes were done, it's out the door.
So yeah, does anyone want to take the opportunity to ask Holly a question? Obviously, in the team page, if something comes up, you guys can reach out to her personally or ask as well, but.
So mine isn't a question. It's more of I agreed with something Holly said, and I think it's worth mentioning one more time, is when you started talking about Disney and having something tangible to work towards and to break it down in that way. And I think that's something not enough people do. We start off saying, oh, I just want to pay for my Shakeology, which is a great first goal. But then beyond that, I think we stop setting tangible goals for our businesses. So I think that whether it's, for me, I wanted to pay for a cleaner to come to I'm a mom of 3. I wanted a cleaner every couple weeks to continue coming to my house. So I set that goal for myself to pay for that. Now I'm up to, I pay for all the groceries that come in and out of the house every week. And now my big goal is for next spring, I want to pay for a vacation for my whole family to go down to Florida. So I think that that's so important to do. And it's kind of a missing piece, I think, sometimes. And those goals are important, financial goals.
I said to Chris, that was another thing. He told me about the thing and I said, this is perfect. I needed a goal to keep me diamond and to keep me pushing and to keep, it was almost like a, yay, this is something that I have, because I didn't really have anything, that was really exciting to do. And finding something exciting for yourself and achieving those things, it's great to pay off bills, and we are paying off bills, and that's awesome. But now I have something that I'm like, I'm going to Disney. I've only been once before and I was adult then. So I'm really excited, but I've never been with my son.
Is there anything else you guys want to add or questions?
Trying to see who's on the call. Oh, Suzanne's on the call. Hi.
I know. We never get to see her because she has this beautiful picture up, but.
I thought Suzanne was like.
I am. I'm here. I'm just making dinner.
It's okay. I wrote Suzanne the first time and I was like, hey. And then she said she had 4 kids. And I'm like, how does she have 4 kids? She's like 20 years old.
I know. She looks so young.
And she's like, I am not 20. I was like, oh. And then I thought, ooh, I hope that wasn't insulting, But I would, if someone said I look like I was 20, I'd be like, yeah, I am.
No, pushing 40, baby. Pushing 40.
Crazy. She looks like.
Well, you look amazing, and the Shakeology is going to keep doing wonders for you. So,
Lindsay, and and you know, Lindsay introduced me to all these people, and I was like, man, they're all so young. I feel so old. You know, people age beautifully. It's so wonderful. That's a good selling point right there. Look at these
There you
girls.
go.
It's the Shakeology, you know?
Yeah.
Holly, I have a question, and I don't know if this is like, okay. So I always struggle with, like, these conversations you're having seem so, like, deep and personal.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle to get over that hurdle because I feel like people are kind of like, hey, yeah, okay, bye. Like, how do you bridge that gap?
Yeah, do you get personal first, Holly, and share some of your story?
Yeah, I guess people see my journey, you know, and I'm like, you've seen my journey. You know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm very open with telling people how much I weighed and how much I weigh now, which in the beginning, I don't even think I told Heather how much I weighed. I was just like, this is my calorie bracket, you know? You have to be really open. And I mean, I obviously have a weight loss journey and that's helpful to me, but everybody, you all have a reason why you're here. So that reason is really important. And the people that are starting with you, they're going to you for that reason. They're seeing that special thing in you. And so just being really open and honest about that is really, really important. I mean, as you can see, I'm like an open book. Like, I will tell you anything about myself. Which I wasn't always that way, but Beachbody has made me that way. And I'll say that. I'll be like, listen, you know, if I'm being a little too open, just let me know, because all of a sudden I'm free and I'm letting you know whatever you may not want to know about me. You know, when I wrote, I've opened up to who I talk to. I had a photography client write me the other day, and she's moving her pictures to the spring because she said she's just not comfortable with how she looks in pictures. And so I let it go 2 days. I didn't even think of it. I was in the car today and I was like, why didn't you use that opportunity? You know? And so I wrote her back today and I was super uncomfortable doing it. But I was like, I'm helping this person. And I was like, hey, I don't know if this is out of bounds, but you said you were uncomfortable and I wanted to let you know. I have women in my group, challenge group, just like you. And if you're interested in joining a challenge group like this, I didn't send her any information, like any attachments or anything, but I was just like, hey, you know, if you want to try this, I'm here and I can help you, you know? And I'm like, this is what I do right now for a business, and you look really great in those pictures, you know, and stuff like that. And I tried to just talk to her and talk to people. I mean, I talk to people in the store. My husband says I can come out of any bathroom with a best friend. And when I was dress shopping for my dress, you all saw my dress, I had like all the women in the store, and I'm like, oh, I feel so weird because I was a size 16 and now I'm a size 8. And I said, can I wear this? I'm a mom. And they're like, oh my gosh, how'd you lose all that weight? And I got like 3 email addresses. Getting their email address is important. Don't just give them yours, because you may never hear from them again because they're afraid, you know? So I am just sharing like crazy. It probably helps that Chris isn't with me right now, because if we were out in stores, I'd probably be good for him. But, you know, I just love to talk to people. I talk to anyone about everything.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It's just honestly, guys, like talking about I know there was another coach in Team Drop the Cookie, like they were pumping gas one day and some guy was like, hey, like, what do you do to work out? And like may have been a little creepy, but like, any opportunity you guys can like do to like talk to someone and like talk about Beachbody or whatever, like, you know, like Holly's saying, like maybe not everyone's as outgoing as Holly and like willing to put themselves out there, but in any way that you can, like find that comfort and just start that conversation naturally, like she's talking about, is like huge in order to grow your network.
Believing in the product is really what does it for me. I 100% believe that this product can change anyone's life, because it changed mine. And I know it, you know, I know that I would not be where I am right now if it wasn't for Heather as my coach and for the product. So I'm very, you know, I tell people, you don't just need the product, you need a coach. You need a coach that will believe in you and will help you, because if they buy it on the website, they're going to assign them a coach, but that coach might not ever reach out to them, you know? And I tell them that you could get a random coach, but that coach might not reach out to you. You know, we're already talking, and I'm just really, really honest about all that, because I tell people what worked for me. Bye, Gina. Oh, thank you.
Well, I think that wraps it up in case, unless anyone else has another question, or like I said, I'll post the recording in the team page and you guys can ask more questions if you want. And thank you again, Holly. I really, really appreciate your time.
I think you guys should get to say bye to Jacob before he goes. See, he was so good. He's like, get away from me. Oh, you waved. That was good. I'm so proud. Usually crawls on my head. So
Yeah, he's so cute.
yeah. So thank you guys so much. This was great for me because I always want to talk on calls and I get to talk all the time.
Yeah, I was like, Holly, do you want to talk on the team call? She's like, well, I feel like I already do anyway, so sure. I was like, okay. So,
Holly.
but I love you guys, and thank you so much for calling in and supporting Holly and listening to her story, because I know I'm truly inspired by her every day. So I know, Holly, you're going to keep inspiring people, and this is only the beginning of your journey. So we're so excited to have you on our team, and I love you.
Thank you. And thank you to my husband for calling in.
Yes. Absolutely. Bye, guys. Have a good night.